Hello, my girls, guys, or non-binary pals, or gender fluid pals, or whatever you identify as. It's your boy Carter here, back with another video, or Care Bear, or Chaos Bear, or whatever the heck you want to call me. Today on my channel, I wanted to talk about Alice in Wonderland, more about the mental illness symptoms that some of the characters may be experiencing. And I am not saying that, oh, this character definitely has this illness. The author of Alice in Wonderland has never come out and said this, and I feel like a lot of this is portrayed very well in Tim Burton's version, and so that's the one that we're going to mainly be focusing on today. I'm not necessarily saying that they have this illness, just that they show traits of these illnesses. So yeah, I think that is everything. So first I wanted to start with the White Rabbit. I'm late for a very important date. I'm late for a very important date. I feel like with every character there's a few interpretations that we can take and mental health traits that we can kind of like talk about. He is always constantly checking his watch, and this could just be anxiety, but yeah, it also could be interpreted as an OCD trait, but I don't know a lot about OCD, and I know that there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to any mental health disorders, but like OCD, I know people have like really misinterpreted, and I really don't want to mess up on that. But my biggest thing with the White Rabbit is I definitely feel and connected with him when it came to my anxiety disorders and when it comes to anxiety. He does, in my opinion, show traits of generalized anxiety disorder. He's constantly worried about being late and appears very restless, and yeah, like I really feel like he's my anxiety when it comes to me being late. Usually I end up having an anxiety attack. I also know that like it's not just a mental disorder. Everybody can have anxiety without having an anxiety disorder. We need to worry about when it starts affecting people's day-to-day life. That's when it potentially is a disorder. And I see it definitely affecting the White Rabbit's life. He appears in a state of distress in a lot of scenes in the 2010 version, and he's often described as flustered, tumbling, and panicking, especially when he's late or angering the queen. So yeah, like this definitely to me feels like generalized anxiety disorder or a panic disorder, and that's what I feel like the White Rabbit shows traits of. Anyway, let's move on to the next character, the Queen of Hearts, also known as the Red Queen. Off with your head! Before we get into this, I want to just make it known that people with personality disorders are not bad people, so I do not want anybody commenting hate towards personality disorders. The Red Queen is a character that I always related to, not with the NPD, but with the BPD. She, in my opinion, shows traits of borderline personality disorder. Unstable relationships and rapidly shifts of mood can be traits of borderline personality disorder. And I also feel like some of her rage is her reacting to perceived rejection. Another character that some think that could have traits of BPD, and I kind of agree with this, but I'm unsure, which is the Mad Hatter. She just fits traits of cluster B disorders. She shows traits of narcissistic personality disorder. When she thinks that she's being slighted, she reacts, and not in a good way. She also lacks empathy and demands constant attention and praise. That is linked to potential also histrionic personality disorder, though it can be linked to NPD. On to the Mad Hatter. He definitely shows traits of PTSD, and I feel as though he would fit a diagnosis based on the criteria in the DSM, especially in the 2010 version. We see him experience flashbacks in the 2010 version, and I can't remember, but I think even in Alice Through the Looking Glass, we saw this more. It's been so long since I watched Alice Through the Looking Glass, so that's why I'm like, I can't speak on that at the moment. Of course he would be traumatized though, and has trauma. Like, he loses his whole family, watched his village burn, plus probably has had to deal with the Queen of Hearts more than once, and at least that's a theory I have. We also see some sudden shifts in emotions, especially when remembering traumatic events, and that is very common with those who struggle with PTSD or complex PTSD. I have seen online that people see ADHD traits, and I do see it a little bit, like the way he switches topics really fast and stuff. But something I see, and maybe it was just what Lewis Carlo, I'm not going to say that right, I'm way too exhausted. Maybe that was what Lewis took inspiration from when creating the character, the Mad Hatter. But mercury poisoning was very common back then, especially for hatters. In the 18th to 19th centuries, hatters often got mercury poisoning because during that time, mercury nitrate was used in creating felt hats. Symptoms of mercury poisoning included tremors, mood swings, memory loss, and delirium and hallucinations. It's one of my favorite words. Why is delirium one of my favorite words, but I can't say it right? Look, I said it wrong again. Help. Lastly, let's talk about Alice, the one who falls to the land where roses bleed and mirrors bend. Sorry, I wrote a poem and that was a line in my poem. I won't lie, Alice was difficult, but after all my thinking and reading the DSM-5, researching, I noticed that Alice, in my opinion, shows traits of dissociation. The way time is very distorted. It always appeared to me that when she grows / shrinks, that maybe that is symbolizing with detaching. Part of dissociation is detaching from reality. But it also could not be. Something I always thought, like from when I was a kid, and I don't know if I think it much anymore, but I wonder if Alice was supposed to symbolize eating disorders and body dysmorphia, because maybe that's what the whole shrinking and growing is portraying, seeing your body in a different way than it actually is. Anyway, guys, I'm so sorry this video was chaotic, but if you made it this far, please hit that red subscribe button and join our family. We are a safe place and a safe space for all. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. And I also love Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland just has helped me through so much in my life, and I really love that movie a lot. Anyway, love you guys. Stay positive. Stay strong. You matter. And again, I'm very sorry this video is crazy. I'm trying to be a better video creator. Okay. Bye.